Most people misunderstand networking. They think success comes from more followers, more business cards, more visibility, so they spend years trying to expand outward. More events, more cold outreach, more shallow conversations, more people who kind of know them. But quietly, behind the scenes, something very different is happening because some of the wealthiest opportunities in the world are not moving through massive public networks. They move through small circles, private trust, repeat relationships, shared reputation, and controlled access. And once you understand this, you begin realizing something uncomfortable. 5 deeply trusted relationships can generate more wealth than 1,000 surface-level connections because high-value opportunities rarely move publicly first. They move quietly. And today, we are going to break down why. Traditional networking advice often sounds like this: meet as many people as possible, get your name out there, build a huge network, always be connecting. And while some of that matters, the internet quietly distorted what networking actually is, because most modern networking became performative. People collect contacts, followers, likes, and visibility without building actual trust. And trust is the real currency, not attention. Trust. This is why some people seem to get opportunities that appear invisible to everyone else. Jobs never publicly posted, partnerships nobody hears about, investments discussed privately, referrals that skip entire hiring pipelines, business acquisitions, quiet introductions, access to information before the public sees it. Most of this does not happen because someone had more connections. It happens because someone was trusted inside a small circle. That is a completely different mechanism. And once you see this, you start realizing why broad networking often creates very little actual leverage. Because leverage does not come from being known by everyone, it comes from being trusted by the right few. This is exactly the kind of hidden dynamic we explore on Nobody Told Us. The realities of wealth, work, and opportunity that often have a greater impact on outcomes than the advice most people hear. Small circles operate differently than public networks. In public spaces, people protect themselves, hide information, signal status, and remain cautious. But inside trusted micro networks, behavior changes, information flows faster, risk decreases, opportunities appear earlier, recommendations carry more weight, and this creates something extremely powerful: economic acceleration, because trust reduces friction. Think about it carefully. When people trust you, they move faster with you, share opportunities with you, bring you into rooms, recommend you privately, and involve you in decisions earlier. That changes everything. Most people believe wealth is only about money. But many forms of wealth begin as information, access, timing, and proximity. And those things are often controlled socially before they are controlled financially. That is why social capital matters so much. Not fake popularity, not social media performance, real social capital, meaning people who genuinely trust your judgment, your consistency, your discretion, your reliability, and your character over time. This is why small circles can become so economically powerful, because trust compounds, and compounding trust creates access. A lot of large networks are actually fragile. They look impressive, but they lack depth. People know each other superficially. Relationships are transactional. Nobody shares meaningful risk. Nobody has long-term loyalty. Nobody truly depends on one another. So the moment pressure appears, those networks disappear. But strong, small circles behave differently. They survive volatility better because the relationships are not built on temporary visibility. They are built on history, reciprocity, competence, and repeated interaction. This becomes especially important during economic downturns, job instability, business transitions, or major life shifts, because during unstable periods, people retreat toward trust, not popularity, toward certainty. And this is where many people suddenly discover the difference between having an audience and having allies. Those are not the same thing. An audience watches you. Allies move with you. And the people who quietly build strong micro networks often become far more resilient financially over time because they are embedded inside trusted ecosystems instead of operating completely alone. One reason small circles become so powerful is because shared struggle creates unusually strong trust. Working together, building together, solving problems together, taking risks together, that creates deeper bonds than superficial networking ever can, because trust is usually built through evidence. not conversation. This is why some of the strongest economic circles emerge from small business partnerships, tight professional teams, military units, startup environments, community organizations, religious communities, or long-term collaborative projects. People observe each other repeatedly under pressure, and over time, they begin learning who stays calm, who keeps their word, who solves problems, who disappears under pressure, who creates value consistently. That information becomes extremely valuable because once trust is established deeply, people begin opening doors privately, and this is where hidden opportunity often emerges, not through cold applications, not through random outreach, but through, hey, I know someone, you should talk to this person. I trust them. Bring them in. Let them see this opportunity first. That is how many real-world opportunities actually move, quietly. One of the largest advantages strong micronetworks create is informational asymmetry, meaning some people simply hear about things earlier than others, and timing changes outcomes. People inside trusted circles often learn which companies are unstable, which investments are being explored, which properties are becoming available, which opportunities are real, and which trends are mostly hype. That information advantage matters enormously because the public often sees opportunities late after the best positioning has already happened, and this is one of the most misunderstood aspects of wealth creation. A lot of success is not merely intelligence, it is informational positioning, being closer to reality earlier. And smaller trusted circles often create that advantage because information moves more honestly inside high trust environments than inside public spaces designed around performance and image management. Modern platforms reward visibility, so people naturally optimize for reach. More views, more followers, more exposure. But there is a hidden problem. Large exposure can create the illusion of connection without creating actual support systems, and many people quietly discover this later. They realize thousands of people may know who they are, while almost nobody is truly invested in their success. That creates fragility, especially emotionally and economically, because real opportunity often still depends on trust, credibility, reputation, and long-term relationship quality, not just visibility metrics. And ironically, the people constantly chasing broad attention sometimes neglect the small circles that could actually change their lives, the 5 people who genuinely trust them, the 3 people building alongside them, the mentor quietly opening doors, the collaborator creating opportunities behind the scenes. That is often where the real leverage exists. So how do people actually build this kind of social capital? First, stop focusing only on expanding outward. Focus on increasing depth. Depth creates leverage. Second, become consistently useful, not performative, useful. People trust reliability far more than charisma over time. Third, protect your reputation carefully. In small circles, reputation travels fast. Fourth, learn discretion. One reason high trust groups stay small is because information safety matters. People share more with people who do not constantly seek attention. Fifth, play long-term games. Many high-value relationships compound over years, not weeks. And finally, understand that social capital is not manipulation. It is accumulated trust. That is a major difference because manipulative networking eventually collapses, but authentic value creation strengthens networks over time. At the end of the day, many of the most important opportunities in life are not fully public. They move through trust, through reputation, through proximity, through shared history, through small circles that quietly compound value over time. And once you understand that, you stop obsessing over being known by everyone. You start focusing on being trusted by the right people, because the truth is, 1,000 weak connections may create visibility, but a handful of deeply trusted relationships can completely alter the trajectory of your life. Not because networking is fake, but because real social capital operates very differently than most people were taught. And that difference quietly shapes careers, wealth, access, resilience, and opportunity far more than most people realize. The world often tells people to build larger networks, but many of the biggest opportunities in life come from building smaller, stronger ones. At Nobody Told Us This, we examine the overlooked systems, incentives, and patterns that quietly shape careers, organizations, and financial success, because understanding what most people miss can change the decisions you make next. If you enjoy exploring the realities that rarely make it into career advice, business books, or financial headlines, like, share, and subscribe to Nobody Told Us This for more insights designed to help you see the world a little more clearly. Before you leave, consider this. If your next major opportunity came through someone you already know, take a moment to think about your inner circle. Who are the 5 people most likely to challenge you, support you, and open doors to opportunities you couldn't access alone? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.